You'd hardly believe it, but in these two featherlight pieces from Giordana's EXO collection, there are 11 different fabrics and each one serves a targeted purpose. I'm going to give you a quick shakedown of why they're here and what they do. The stars of the EXO show are the concepts of compression and support. The fabric that helps Giordana achieve the desired results is one they've been using on their 10X line for years, Movix. It's a lycra that stretches in 8 different directions, which is great for comfort, and because it's stitched on a honeycomb pattern to provide omnidirectional elasticity, Giordana is able to provide focused compression and support for a particular muscle or ligament with the addition of cleverly placed stitches which frame your major muscle groups. Movix also features an antibacterial treatment to prevent the growth of odor-causing agents, and the inside of the fabric, the stuff that's against your skin, is lightly brushed to provide smooth as silk comfort. Giordana's Gran Fondo fabric has a high thread count and microscopic spirals that facilitate movement of moisture away from the body to keep you cool and dry. And because you don't want your EXOs or former Reds falling apart after 6 months of riding, there's Zafiro fabric, an anti-abrasive 200-gram power lycra on the seat and at the inside of the thighs to prevent snagging, pulling, and pilling of the fabric. Now, Giordana is a firm believer in improving the efficiency of the rider, even if it's a ½ watt here and a ¼ watt there. To that end, a few years ago, they developed Ametista fabric, and in the Forma and EXO lines, it's shaped into their core contour system, which cradles your core and your sensitive internal organs with carbon fiber threads to block rogue, static, and electrical interference in order to lessen the onset of fatigue while at the same time increasing aerobic output. Now, no bib short or knicker is worth its salt unless the uppers are comfortable, and the razor thin seamless Aerofix uppers on the EXO system and the Forma do just that. When you combine Aerofix's 2-layer bonded fabrics with the laser cut perforations, you get a set of straps that's just wide enough to keep everything firmly in place without overstretching and feel as comfortable as your own skin. And in order to keep you well ventilated, there's yet another fabric, the Antimicrobial Illusion mesh, in the areas between the straps and the panels of the legs on these bibs and knickers. Now, AI1 is an all-new material and is exclusive to the EXO line. It's a 2-layer fabric with a specially woven inner layer and a UV blocking outer layer made from recycled materials. Together, they create air channels between your skin and the fabric in order to quickly move moisture away from your body. And don't think for a second that because it's paper thin, it won't last. Oh no, the stretch of the fabric is due to the weave of, not the amount of latex in the fiber. So it may feel a little less elastic than the rest of the garment, but that's okay. It's supposed to, because it's covering a part of your body that's relatively static while you're riding. The shoulders and center back panel of the EXO and Forma jerseys are made from Giordana's Astaria 2.0 fabric, which feels much lighter and springier than the AI1, and it has this feel for 2 reasons. First, this is the area of your upper body that will move the most, so a little range of motion is important. And second, it's the aerodynamically slipperiest fabric in the Giordana line, and it's placed on the leading edge of your upper body for maximum reduction in drag. One of my favorite features in the Giordana EXO jersey is the placement of the uber lightweight kite mesh fabric at the pockets. Kite mesh is about half the thickness of the thinnest lightweight lycra you've seen, and Giordana makes clever use of it in a place where lycra is typically doubled, folded, and stitched, which can retain heat like crazy. So rather than double up on one of the other standard weight lycras, 1 layer for the jersey, another for the pocket that's stitched to the top of it, they use 2 layers of a material that add up to be about as thick as 1 layer. Brilliant. But how do they do that and keep the pockets from sagging like crazy when you load them up? I'm glad I asked that question. Large panels of Giordana Host carbon fabric, which only stretches in 2 directions, was used on the back of the EXO and Forma jerseys to hold the pockets in place. Even though the Forma doesn't feature the kite mesh, it's still a nice feeling to have your pockets stay put on a ride. But the Host carbon story doesn't end there. You see, Giordana infused the fabric with actual carbon fiber threads to increase its strength and also fend off that pesky electrical interference we talked about a few minutes ago. The carbon threads in the host fabric literally absorb and dissipate electrical energy, which lowers the concentration of lactic acid in your muscles because it improves blood circulation and delivers more blood to the muscles. Last but not least, let's give a big shout out to Low Pro 30, one of my favorite touches on these bibs, which is used on the arm and leg grippers of the EXO line. In my opinion, cuffs and grippers can make or break a kit. I've never felt any other that's one, as comfortable, and two, that stayed in place quite as well. It's a little thing, but for me, it's an absolute home run because too many leg grippers are either tighter or looser than the rest of the Lycra on the leg or arm, and that's not the case with the Low Pro 30s. They match the compression, feel, and weight of the rest of the fabrics perfectly. If you have questions about how any of these fabrics work, please send my friends at Giordana an email at info@gitobike.com and they'll get you connected with a Giordana retailer in your neighborhood.